as per usual, we'll wait a few and let everybody jump on that's going to jump on, and then we'll get going. And if you hear little noises in the background, it's the 3D printer, so my apologies beforehand. All right, guys, it's 7 o'clock on Wednesday, and that means it's time for Track Talk. And Track Talk is powered by W Energy Drink. And guys, check it out. This week, the Black Friday sale at W.GG. You guys can go on there and get 50% off. You don't even have to use my code. It's a special sale they got going on. And try out what I've been telling you about. Guys, get the energy, get the focus. No jitters, no crashes. It's good stuff. So try it out now, 50% off. It's no better time. And any other time after the sale, you can always use my code, Hitman47, for your discount. Now, last week I had to cancel the show last moment, so I'm going to go over the topics I wanted to talk about last week. Excuse me. So, a couple weeks ago, a couple of us went up to Vermont to race in the Slate Valley Poor Boys race up there for the trophies. And overall, man, I gotta say, I mean, while I didn't do too hot, I didn't do too bad. The first round, my pinion gear fell off, so there was that. And as any of you that race know, that basically set up the rest of a crappy night for me. But overall, my second round, I took down the round in my heat and made one of the lower mains. I took that down for a bump, and then the car decided to break again. Now, I haven't touched the car since, so I couldn't tell you what went wrong. It just didn't want to go. So until I get into that, I have no idea. But as far as a presentation, as far as a race and an atmosphere, kudos to the guys from Poor Boys in Slate Valley. What a great, great time we had up there. Lots of fun, lots of cool people from both sides of the border. We had some people from over the Canadian border. We had some guys from New York. We had some guys from Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. There were several of us out there and represented, and that was a great, great time. So the races were called well. The races were run well. The marshalling was really, really good. Overall, it was a really good time. Now, I hear that after I had left, there may have been an incident where the competitive side of someone got the best of them. And I'll say this, you know, I didn't witness it, so I have not much to say, but it happens everywhere, and, you know, it's just something we have to deal with. So, once again, to the guys at Slate Valley and Poor Boys Racing, great, great job, guys. Can't wait to do it again. Well worth the 3.5 hour drive up there to take part. And back 3.5 hours that night, by the way. So all in all, very, very nice job. The other thing that I wanted to talk about last week that I didn't get to discuss, we did release the rule set for the short course truck class on the Facebook page for the Rallycross. And I didn't get to say or do much with it because I wasn't online last week. So here's my short course truck here. As you can see, short course body, tires, suspension's done. Some things are happening with that as far as following the rule set to build it for that class. I see a bunch of you commenting, hello, how are you? Like and subscribe, please, that's awesome. If you guys, you know, follow the channel, that'd be so much fun for me because that's just more people I know are seeing this the way I like to see it, and that it's just a good time discussing a common interest. So I appreciate that, guys. So yeah, short course truck, pretty good. You know, you can run the BL2S in that class. You can run the 12 turn in the class. There are several other little things that you can do, and you guys can check out the Facebook page at Wolfpack Racers Den for the particulars that were released last week on that class. Now, we still have a couple classes left to announce, but we have a long winter ahead of us before we get to race any of these in the spring, so we'll get to those when we get to them. One of the other things I wanted to discuss was one of my new sponsors, and I'm really excited about this one. It's Combat RC, CMBT space RC. You guys can look that up on Facebook. You guys can look that up on the World Wide Web. Combat RC. When I first found them, I guess, it really intrigued me because it's veteran owned. And being a veteran, I definitely want to support that type of thing. Cheers from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I bet the weather is way better there than it is up here in Massachusetts right now. As Alex saying, guys, make sure you like and subscribe. Appreciate that, Alec. But yeah, guys, Combat RC, veteran owned, and I'm a vet, so I reached out and we had a nice conversation, and I am now sponsored by Combat RC for the 2026 race season. So I wanted to kind of bring you guys into the fold with that. What he is doing right now is making some very, very strong, sturdy aluminum servo horns. And guys, as you know, if you race, some of you, some of the classes that you race, you're going to have a very specific thing that you have to use, so you can't use aftermarket stuff like this. But for those classes that you can use the aftermarket, guys, honestly, I got the product in hand. I've already tested it out in the slash that you just saw, and I got to tell you, strong, sturdy, does its job very, very well. And so I can't wait to be running these in some racing come 2026 in the spring. Here we have the Victory model with the hardware. You can see that that's just a quality piece. I'm going to take out the Elite one. The Elite is this one here. I ran that in my slash. I really like the way it fit, so I'm going to show you guys that one. And just kind of give you an overall idea of what Combat RC is producing. So there it is, 25 tooth servo horn, Combat RC there on the side. I don't know if you guys can come in there, but anyway, excuse me. These are strong aluminum parts, man. I'm trying to bend it now. It won't. This is something that is very quality and worthwhile. And quite honestly, especially with the Traxxas, this fits very, very nicely into the spaces allowed by those. And I also am running it in my Tamiya Beetle. Not my Tamiya Beetle, my Tamiya Wild one. And that fits in there very well also. So, up your steering game, guys. Get some strength in there. Get some, nice fitment, and bring these things to battle. You know what I mean? Combat RC, CAMBT RC. And like I said, guys, it's veteran owned. So for those of you out there like myself that want to support veteran owned businesses here in the U.S., by all means, get that done and check those out. So that's two sponsors that I've already told you about, right at the head of the show, W Energy Drink, and now Combat RC. So check those out, guys. Like I said, at W, you can get 50% off this week for Black Friday. So, let's see. So I also started, some of you may have noticed on the Facebook that I started something called RC Life Magazine. For those who haven't seen it and or want to check it out, RC Life Magazine on Facebook. Basically, guys, it's going to be a bunch of hobbyists writing articles about their chosen facet of the hobby, and hoping that some interest is sparked by those articles. So it should be a good time. It's something different and something new for just the everyday driver to take part in. You know, there are obviously other magazines out there with different guys that write for them. There's different YouTube channels and Facebook pages and all kinds of craziness like that out there. So it's not something that's, you know, this crazy original idea. However, I just think it would be kind of cool to have a discussion starter written by the guy you could have been next to on the driver's stand. You know, have that discussion go about with guys that you might not have ever met or raced with, but they do the same thing as you, or they crawl, or they do whatever you do, you know, on that level. So I think it just broadens the community, and I'm hoping that in that respect, it'll do that for a bunch of you and myself. You know, the more guys, especially that write different things or discuss different things, the more we can all learn about different facets of the hobby. So I don't think that that's a detriment to anybody. I think that's nothing but a benefit. So I'm looking forward to seeing it develop. It was only started last week. I have a couple guys writing some stuff now. I posted one of my earlier little blurbs just to kind of show something on there. I'll probably do the same with something else I wrote as well, and post that up there so that it can be seen and see what people think of it. So I don't look like Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, but I don't have the lip thing, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that's what RC Life magazine's about. Now, lastly today, and I know this is a quick show, but it suits the mold for the past several. You know, guys, we put out the applications for Team Wolfpack 2026 for drivers to come on board and be quote-unquote sponsored by the Wolfpack. And essentially, guys, what that means is, you know, we're going to help you out the best we can. We're going to teach and learn and do what we can to help make you the best driver you can be, that within our capability to help you do so. So that is also on the Facebook page. But you know, I do want to say that we've had a response that was less than desirable. Let's just call it that. No name, of course, attached to it. One of the keyboard warriors decided that they wanted to try to be funny. And I think that they're the only ones that found it humorous. You know, honestly, guys, when it comes to these things, you know, you don't have to agree with what we're doing, with what somebody else is doing, with anything. But you don't have to make an ass of yourself doing something like was done. And basically, guys, somebody went in and, you know, filled a bunch of answers in, calling a bunch of people assholes. Me probably in particular. And, you know, I've earned that in some circles, but overall it's just not needed. You know, we're trying to do something with that, and, you know, quite honestly, it's just, it's childish. It's a coward's way of, you know, poking the bear. But no one ever knows who poked the bear, because the guy won't be there. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I know by saying something here or on Facebook or whatever, I know I'm not going to get rid of it. In fact, it's already been done again, and that's fine. You know, secretly, I have my suspicions of who may be or who may not be the person doing it. But again, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. You know what I mean? You're wasting people's time, energy, and focus for what? For what? To call me an asshole because you won't, other than from behind a screen? I mean, good on you. You know what I mean? It's laughable. It really is. It's funny, and it's sad. it's sad that someone is that little of a man to have to resort to things like that and not be able to just say it to someone's face, but whatever. Look, I'm no tough guy either, but I'll tell you right now, if I gotta call or talk to you about that kind of thing, I'll do it to your face. 50-year-old me is not 30-year-old me, I'll tell you that, but I'll still do it to your face and hope for the best. I am reading the chat, actually. I'm just kind of ignoring some of it because a lot of it is spam, so I unfortunately... and then, you know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, to answer, it looks like the fright. If you don't know what I'm talking about, number one, this channel is made for radio-controlled racers and enthusiasts, and I talk about different parts of the hobby and different things that go on with my club in particular, or myself in particular. It's not for everybody. It can be tedious to some, and it can be very interesting and informative to others. So that's what we're doing here. You know, the whole thing with the you know, spamming the channel there, the say whatever you're trying to make me say. I don't feed into those, and I won't do that. And as far as Hitman 47 Racing, my nickname's the Hitman. My race number is 47, and I race. So, all right. So anyway, it's brain rot. Well, I'm glad you think so, pal. Find another channel. So anyway, that's it. That's what it is. That's who I am. I can't do anything more or less. So yeah, like I said, guys, Slate Valley was a blast. Thanks again to those guys and to the guys from Poor Boys Racing. The class that was announced last week, the short course truck racing class for the Rally X, that's been done, talked about, and now you've seen an example. And I did talk about Combat RC, CM, I don't know why I keep wanting to put an A in there, CMBTRC.com. You can check out their products as well. It's a veteran-owned company, so, you know, give them all the support we can, show them the love from the racing community. So, am I good at racing? I guess that's kind of subjective, and that's up to anybody else's opinion, but I do okay, and have gotten some few things on the wall. So, that's it for this week, guys. What I'll do now is I'm going to open it up to the chat, comments, questions, concerns, critiques, whatever, and I'll address the ones I choose to address, because there are obviously some spam ones out there as well right now. I'll have a sip of my drink, and then one way or the other, we're going to end the show. All right, guys, doesn't look like there's much going on there other than what's been perpetuating throughout the whole show. So, I will say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting the product for so long. We're up in the 110s, I think, for episodes now, throughout the couple of different platforms that we've been on, leading us here to YouTube. And I will say happy Thanksgiving to everyone in America that watches this, tomorrow being Thanksgiving. Be safe tonight, biggest party night of the year. And, you know, I'll see you guys next week. Till then, I'm the Hitman, and I'm out.